Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. Today we're going to do our chat about a show. We call it review, we all know it's not one, but we have to call it something, and review kind of makes the most sense. Today we are going to talk about the one, the only Next to Normal, which is actually just closed in the West End. So if you want to know my thoughts, my feelings and everything in between on this show, stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. So Next to Normal, let's get into it. I am so, I want to say happy that I finally got to see this show, but I'm not sure that's the word I should be using to describe this show. I have been aware of it as a show for a very long time. The first song that actually drew me into this show is Superboy and the Invisible Girl, because I don't know, there was something about the melody of it and the context of it. When I first listened to it, it was just something that my brain kind of attached to really well. But if you don't know anything about this show, the show Next Normal came from Broadway. It had its Broadway debut in 2009. It ran there until 2011, and then we in the UK were graced with its presence. And then we in the UK were graced by its presence in 2023 when it had its London premiere at the Donmar Warehouse. Then they announced they were going to put it on at the Wyndhams for a short period of time, and after months and months of shan't I, I finally bought a ticket and I went to see this show. So this show is one that has so many hard-hitting moments and content. If you saw my last video when I discussed content warnings, sensory warnings and the alike, you all know how much this goes through, but the show has a book and lyrics by Brian Yorkie and music by Tom Kitt. It centres mainly around the mother of a family. This family are what could be seen from the outside as a normal family, with a mum, a dad and 2 kids. However, as the story progresses, you learn how this is not the case. The mother, who is one of the main central moments in the show, has bipolar disorder, and this entire show addresses things like grief, depression, suicide, drug abuse, mental health, all in the space of 2 hours 50, I think is the running time, with an interval. It is hard hitting, it is emotional, but it also has a really clever humour to it. There is moments in the show where the audience are having a proper little giggle, which I think it truly needed. But the humour was just so brilliantly sprinkled into this plot. It was just, yeah, it was perfect. I think for me as well, the thing that made it so good was that from the moment you sit down, you are essentially in what is their living room, kitchen area, so you kind of feel at home. And then the show starts, the music plays, and the first song, which kind of sets the scene, also kind of, you get so intimate with this family from the get-go that as the story progresses, it's just so brilliantly done, and it was something truly special. This production, that was the Donmar and has been the Wyndhams, was directed by Michael Longhurst with additional direction, movement and choreography by Anne Yi. Now, the reason that I mention that is because I, whilst making a decision to go and watch this show or not, came across various different interviews with cast and creative of this show, and Anne Yi was actually mentioned by Jack Wolf, who plays one of the characters, as the person who gave the note to Jack to portray his character in one song, which is called I Am Alive, which just made it something truly special, and I 100% loved it. Sticking creatively, I wanted to mention set and costume design, which has been done by Chloe Lamford. Now, I've kind of already mentioned it, but from the moment you step in, you are greeted with this housescape. It is, like I said, a living room, snug area, kitchen with a set of stairs, which is essentially designed to look like bedrooms coming off. It's also where the band are put. I will try and remember to put a little clip of the set from my seat before the show started. I just really enjoyed watching the set itself. It was so aesthetically pleasing, and I just really enjoyed looking at it. And the other two people that I wanted to mention creatively came from lighting design, which is by Lee Curran, and also video design, which is done by Tal Rosner. These two elements work brilliantly together. Through certain songs there is use of a projection on both the back wall of the set, but also onto the two boxes on the second level, and I just thought they were very cleverly used, that were kind of, they were there but they weren't so in your face that it took away from everything else that was going on that stage, and I just really enjoyed looking again at them. I just thought it was absolutely brilliant. Before I get onto the cast, and I did mention this in my last video, but I did want to mention again that this show has worked in partnership with a company who is called Applause for Thought. Applause for Thought have worked alongside the show to help facilitate mental health support, and the theatre itself have got QR codes around the theatre and also in the programme for anyone who needs that help. And through the QR code you can find information about content warnings and a little bit about all of the things that are discussed throughout the show. Also, there is numbers at the bottom for anybody who needs urgent help from the likes of Samaritans or from Applause for Thought themselves. And I just think it is an excellent thing that they have done. So I did want to mention it again. Moving on to the cast. The cast is a strong cast. Now that I have seen this show, I am 100% aware why they were nominated in so many different categories at the Olivier's. Also kind of gutted looking back that some, if not all of them, didn't win their categories. But we shall move on. So in this cast we have Cassie Levy, who plays the role of Diane, who is the mother. I was in awe of that human being from the first time that she opened her mouth. I was like, the role of Diane is complex, and it was just insane to sit and watch Cassie do that role, and to be in the room and see it was just how she is able to do that 8 times a week is awe-inspiring, because I could only watch it once and I was literally left in the auditorium as everyone else left, just trying to get my breath back, because it hit me so hard in my heart and soul. And that was just seeing it once. It's insane. Jamie Parker played Dan. Dan is essentially the father figure of the show, being the dad. He essentially, you think at the beginning he is the normal one, however as the show progresses there are chinks in that armour, and he just played it absolutely brilliantly as well. Every single person on the stage was absolutely excellent. Jack Wolf, who I previously mentioned before, plays the role of Gabe. As I already mentioned, he performed I'm Alive. I keep calling it I'm Alive with such rock star flair. If you know the context of that show and that song in particular, it was just so amazing to sit and watch. And at times the role of Gabe is a little bit creepy, but it's just the way that it was portrayed by Jack was just something special, and I just really enjoyed it. Speaking of really enjoying people, Eleanor Worthington Cox, who plays the role of Natalie, who is the daughter, was again insane, absolutely amazing. I have so many words but no words at all. This cast are just perfect. Perfect. Finishing off the cast of 6, there is Trevor Dion Nicholas, who plays Dr. Fine and also Dr. Maddens. He is the psychiatrist in the show. And then finally there is Jack Afresco. I'm probably pronouncing their surname incorrectly, but Jack played Henry, and Henry is such a sweetheart and like the perfect person for Natalie, which is why they sing a song about it, Perfect for You. Oh, love it, loved him, just absolutely amazing. If you can't tell, I loved this show with all my heart. It is definitely up there as one of my favourite shows that I've seen this year. Storytelling at its best, I would say. However, as I have also mentioned, the emotions in this show throughout, from both acts, I was silently sobbing. It is a hard watch and can slowly kill you emotionally from the inside. And for that reason I feel like I don't think I can rush back and watch it again. I can't rush back and watch it because by the time this video goes up the show was actually closed. However, they have recently announced that they have filmed the show and they will stream it at some point down the line, which 100% I will be watching that. But I feel like I hope that they will stream it to homes instead of in theatres / in cinemas, because I want to be able to cry in the comfort of my own home next time. So would I recommend? Yes, 100%. But yeah, I loved it, but it made me bawl. You know, when you cry to the point that you can't breathe. That was me yesterday in the Wyndham Theatre. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video here. thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Did you see Next to Normal? What did you think? Let me know in the comments area. But that is it. I'm going to leave you alone. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you come back next time. I love you all lots, and all that's left to say is the usual, which I don't think I said in my last video. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye.